Hi everyone, so I'm still working on this flower fair in Worlds Within Worlds, and I just came up with a new color combination for leaves, and I just wanted to share it with you because I think that this turned out really pretty and it still has a pop. But a lot of people have asked me, how do you choose your colors? And so I think this video will be a little bit helpful. But when you go to choose your colors, you will choose a dark color. Well, I like to choose a dark color and then a medium color. And then I always choose a lighter color. But for me, when I'm choosing colors, I like to choose a lighter color that is going to create a, so to speak, pop, where it brings highlights like this into your coloring. See how this is very much highlighted? That is actually eggplant, and or eggshell, I'm sorry, eggshell. I like using this color to add to when I'm using greens or oranges or really anything. You could add this eggshell color to so many different colors to add that extra highlight. And I'm gonna show you how I do it. And I think I'm just gonna do this small leaf here because I do, as you can see from this project I'm working on, I spend a lot of time. So I think for video's sake and keeping this kind of short, that just doing this little leaf right here and showing you how I did it will work. But the dark color that I'm using is PC 908, which is dark green. And the medium color, or the lighter color in the green tone that I'm using in this case, is going to be the true green, which is 910. And I love this color because it is bright, but it's still beautiful, and it's not too bright. And then I've got, of course, my eggshell, which is PC 140. So we're going to use just these three colors, and we're going to be able to create this look right here, just using those three colors. So again, I'm holding my phone because I didn't want to get out the whole ensemble with the good camera and all of that stuff, because I just wanted to do this really quick for y'all. So with all of Kirby's artwork in most all of his books, I love his artwork because he puts these lines in here, and you should use these lines as kind of your hint as to where to put the darker colors and the shading, and then your, what I would call my highlight color. So if I come in here and I look at this leaf, I could see that the darker areas are up here. And the reason those darker areas are up here is because this leaf is actually laying behind this petal and this petal. So where you're closest to something that is laying behind, you're gonna have the most shadows. When you add your color, you could really emphasize those shadows and add color to them and give them a lot more depth. And so for that, I'm gonna use my PC 908, my dark green, like I just showed you. And I'm gonna come in here and I'm going to just go over this darkest area. And I'm going to concentrate the most right up in here where it is closest to the petal, because that's how I create depth. And so I'm going to leave a little bit, like see right in here where I left a little bit out? It's because I want to come in there and I want to be able to blend in another color. So when I'm working in these books, in Kirby's books, I like to use these as an outline for where I'm gonna lay my colors. They're so helpful. But anywhere I see lines, I'm going to come in with my darker color. Always make sure your lead is short or sharpened. To a very fine point when doing more intricate work like this along the edges and such. Otherwise, it's not going to come out right. Okay, I've got enough of the darker green for now. And now I have to come in with my lighter green, which is my True Green PC 910. And I'm gonna come in here with this one. This one would not have to be as sharp because I'm not lining. So to save my pencil a little bit and not use as much of the pigment and make my pencil just kind of go away too quickly, because you know they're so expensive, I'm going to not sharpen it and just use it to kind of fill in some of these areas. But again, I'm not filling in all of the areas. I'm going to leave some because I still have that other color that I want to come back with. This area here though, where you could see that it needs to be shaded, that area I am going to cover fully. And then I'll just use my lightest color to come back and blend it in. Notice my darkest color, my true green, or not my true green, my dark green is not as dark as it could get yet. Like you could see that over here in this other leaf, it is still darker. That's because I'm going to come back and I'm going to go over it again after I get some of this pigment laid down. So now that I've got some of the areas covered with that one, I'm going to come in with my eggshell and I'm going to kind of fill in some of these other areas here that were not filled in. And see how it just kind of adds to it and gives it that extra pop and makes it just kind of really stand out. I absolutely love this color. It's one of my favorite ones to use for highlights, depending on what look I'm going for. Now that I've got some of that in there, I'm gonna come back with my dark green again, 908, PC 908, and it is still fairly sharp, which it still needs to be. And I'm gonna come back in here where I want to add more of the darkness by lining some of it and shading some of it. But remember, you don't want to get carried away and you don't want to go in here just full on coloring when you're trying to do more intricate work like this, because you want to be able to see lots of detail. Always hold your pencil so that it's to the side like I'm holding mine. If you could see how it's resting on the, like where my knuckle is, and I just leave it resting there. That is to avoid pushing too hard, because you don't want to push too hard. And we all know the issues with these Prismacolor pencils and how they, let me try to get this a little clearer, the camera, there we go. But we all know the issues with these Prismacolors and how they have issues with breaking leads. I've had a lot of those issues, and sometimes I get really frustrated, but I still love these pencils so much because of what I can do with them. And I've been working with them for so long now that I just pretty much know all the colors by heart and what blends with what. And there's so many different combinations you could come up with. But I'm gonna come back in here and I'm gonna go even darker in this area. And then right here where this leaf should look like it's laying behind this petal here. So anytime you want something to look like it's behind something else, you always shade with a very light touch right along the edge like this. And that creates a lot of depth and makes the image look like the one item is in reality behind the other. Okay, so now I'm going to come back again with my PC 910 True Green. And I'm going to do a little bit more, mostly blending now that I've gotten this darker green in here. I want to go over it to kind of try to brighten that darker green up, but still not take away from it. But this is how you blend your colors together. And I think it's turning out really good. Despite having to hold my phone in my hand, I'm still able to color this pretty good, and it turned out the way that I want it to. Okay, so now I'm going to come back in with my highlight color, and I'm going to go back over it. You see how that just kind of really brightens it up and gives it that little bit of pop. When I'm coloring, I try to concentrate on doing that with everything. And as you can see, that's what I even did in these leaves. I chose a darker color and then a lighter color, and then I chose my color that would create this pop effect. And I did the same thing in the fair, all through the entire fair. If you look here, I did it here, and I wanted certain areas of the fair to just really pop out. And this is all mostly eggplant mixed in with a little bit of goldenrod, which is what I used to create that effect. But here is where I'm at so far, and I love how it's turning out. I'm really impressed with my own work. You know, sometimes we just really impress ourselves when it comes to the work that we're doing. And I see so many people that start on a project, or I'll see it in my Facebook group, and they'll talk about, oh, I made a mistake. And I just want y'all to know that every single mistake that you think is a mistake is not actually a mistake, because this is art and it should be presented as art. And everything that you think is a mistake is something that can be fixed. When I was doing this fair, let me tell you how many times I was like, oh, I don't like that. But for every single piece of it, I found a fix. Whether it was taking an eraser and trying to go over it and remove the color, or taking another color and putting it over that color. Most of us don't realize when we first start using Prismacolors that if you put a light color down and you want to fix something, you can go back with a darker color or even another color that is something completely different and go over it. And in most cases, when you post your picture to a coloring group and want to show it off, that's not even going to show. So hopefully this video helped you and really helped you to understand how to blend, and that really you only need 3 colors. In a lot of my work, I don't generally use just 3 colors, but in this case it works, and you could still create something absolutely beautiful with just 3 colors. So I hope you all have a great day. I hope this was useful. And if you're not already in my Facebook coloring group, please join us. I'm going to have the link for the Facebook coloring group down in the description below. Just click on that link, it'll take you right there, and then send us a request to join. Thanks, have a great day.